Try and get the angle right. Hello, welcome to another series that I'm doing for another custom. This one is an interesting one because it's not only headless multiscale, but it actually has a trem. And this one is a type of hardware that I've been familiar with, or at least seen in other variations. But then I noticed that they actually did the exact bridge that I wanted, and this was a perfect opportunity to not only see the bridge but use it. And all those details will be revealed soon. So what I'm going to do now, I've got it all drawn up, designed, and the customer has signed the dotted line. He's happy, we've got the parts. So now all I need to do is start cutting the wasteboard to take on my staging for the neck. Then because of this first time of using the bridge, I'm going to basically cut it out of European ash that I have kind of as a standard stock, so that I get the intonation perfect, and then any anomalies that need to be changed, then it does it on the little cheap bit of wood, rather than ruining on a first attempt bog oak and a swamp ash body, which is a costly error, and I don't want to recoup that myself. So without further ado, I'm going to crack open a Red Bull and get to it. And shameless plug, there it is! Get on, Judge. So the backboard is all done. So basically I split the neck into like 4 stages. So basically the stock then gets trimmed down or skimmed. So it does get plain in thickness, but then I machine skim it to make sure it's dead flat. And then I basically do the pocket for the fretboard. The fretboard is then machined separately over here, because that then gets pressed in and inlaid, which is when I then combine the truss rod inside it. So for stages 3 and 4, the truss rod actually sits inside the neck. Then I skim the fretboard into the stock, so then it's the correct thickness. Then I rough and smooth the contouring on the back of the neck, which this one has an interesting profile for ergonomic reasons. It's what the customer wanted, and basically we went through the rigmarole of 3D printing it to make sure that he was happy with how I designed or like replicated this particular style of neck on the back, or neck profile. Then it's the top mounting, so everything is still aligned via dowels. So 1, 3 and 4 are aligned by 8mm pins that will sit at the top of the stock. And then yeah, stage 4 is fretboard radiusing, fret slots, truss rod, pinwheel, recess, the scoop, all the little piloting. There's no inlays on this one, and then I'll do a profile cut, and then it should just lift off and be miraculously looking amazing. So now I'm going to put the stock onto stage 1 and start skimming it, ready for the truss rod. So the neck and the fretboard is off of the CNC. So now what I'm going to do is inlay the fretboard. What I need to do is wrap up the truss rod, and I'm going to use good old PTFE tape. So what this does, it actually keeps it nice and snug and takes any sort of, you know, tolerance out of the gap, but also prevents any unnecessary moisture. And then I'll put a bead of black silicone, because of where you've got a flat and then a round where the rod actually is. It will basically sit around that and make it as snug as possible to stop any rattle in the neck. And then I'll put a bit of masking tape just down the center to stop any glue going in. Now there probably is an argument really of when you actually put the clamps on and compress it, that, you know, the glue is going to find the path of least resistance and probably splurge out, which it will come out to the sides a little bit, because what I've done is a 5mm pocket, but this is actually still 6mm, so I want to be able to get that pressure down into that pocket. But yeah, every little helps. So let's crack on. So this is all clamped up, so what I'm going to do now is just leave it to dry over the night, and then we can go on to stages 3 and 4, which will be the back of the neck, all the contouring and stuff, and then it will be the fretboard radiusing, fret slots and all the rest, and then we'll have a lovely neck, and then it's all sorts of sanding and more sanding and further sanding. Yeah. Neck is all dried. It's been left to set for 24 hours. Cure times on glues always say like an hour or something. I just never believe that. So let's get these clamps off and then back onto the machine. So like I said, we're going to go straight onto stage 3 and then stage 4, which will be the longer of the two, but this is where all the fret slots and radiusing all happen. So the neck is all cut out. So what I'm going to do, I've basically tabbed it in so I don't actually put any alignment points actually on the neck because that will spoil it. So now what I've got to do is just cut the tabs out and then we can free the neck. So in my usual way, what I've done, so I've just taken off all the tabs and just used a file just to bring them in. So yeah, in my usual way, I've 3D printed some little guides. So hopefully if I can, so that goes there. And then this drops onto there, screws down, so basically wedges it into the gap, and then I can drill straight down there and it'll line up with where the truss rod adjustment is. So yeah, I'll just get on with that now. I'll just show you there. Oh, hang on, let's angle the camera. I don't think I could have got that any better. Woohoo! Win! Winner, winner! Yeah. So I'm going to call it there for today. The neck is all machined out. Just got to get the side dot jig put in, which I'll probably do on the next video, and then just kind of feather in these edges just from where the cusps are. But yeah, it's all looking pretty nice. I put the inserts in for the headlock and where it goes into the body. So yeah, and everything lines up really nice. There's no noise, it's nice and solid. The customer's gone for a 16-inch rad on the top, so it's quite flat. I assume he's going to be doing some shreddy stuff with this, and he chose the profile on the back, which is very similar to something that already exists, but I won't call it that. But that's what the client wanted, so that's what he gets. So without further ado, if you've liked this, please let me know down below with a comment or anything lovely. Please subscribe because it really does help the channel a lot. Thank you for reaching the end of the video, and goodbye.